G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing as the Holy Roman Empire in the color blue, we have got Mr. Blind Boy. Spawning on the north side of the map, playing as the color red, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, we have got Villetverk. That is right, we are covering another meme strategy. Now, obviously, you guys would have seen on the channel at the moment, I'm doing a bit of a challenge. I'm doing Chokunu only, all the way to Conqueror. Well, I'm not the only one doing silly challenges at the moment. No. This is the Smurf account of Snooper. He's another Australian content creator. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch out more stuff from him. And I guess the question is for you guys, what do you think Snooper is going to be making only of today with a name like that? Will it work? Will it work? That is the question, and it is indeed correct. If you guess the villager, that is right. He is making only villagers. He's currently sitting in platinum. He's got 11 wins, 11 losses, and he has been only making villagers to win the game. Now, that doesn't mean he's going for wonder victories. No. For anybody who doesn't know, villagers are actually a very, very strong unit in Age of Empires 4. Now, you might look at that and go, I don't know about that, Drongo. Well, there's a couple of different things that you can do to buff up your villagers and make them super strong. Now, obviously, the first thing, it's going to be that textiles buff. But there is still a bug in the game for your herdable sheep. Now, I don't know whether this has been fixed up. We'll have to double check and make sure that it hasn't. But essentially, you can go... What is the barracks? What is the barracks all about? Wait, what is he doing with a barracks? I thought this was meant to be villagers only. So maybe there's a caveat to this. I'm not 100% sure, but I've watched a couple of games from him on stream where he goes for early outposts. But it looks like it's just going to be a barracks, and spearmen are going to be coming out here. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now. We'll take a look over at his enemy's base though and just see what's happening. Mr. Blind Boy going for an early ball, a 2-minute ball. How far down in the depths are you, Snoop? Oh my God, he's losing. Oh no! Oh, everything's gone to terrible damage. Oh my! Oh no! I can't believe it. How many villages did he just lose? He's down to 5 villages. I reckon he pulled 8 villages, and now he's sending out the second scout. Well, things not going to plan for Mr. Blind Boy, it seems. Ringing true to his name. Wow. Oh, my Lord. That was a lot of losses right there. But, I mean, going for an early ball is actually quite a smart move, and I do suspect we will actually see it come out a fair bit with the Holy Roman Empire. I just don't know whether it's going to be like that. You probably won't see it done exactly that way next time, but it makes a lot of sense. It really does. If you can just gather up some early gold, some early food underneath the town center, and then move out for that boar immediately, I reckon it's got potential. It obviously depends if you're against a passive civ or whether you're against an aggressive civ. But what do we got here? Hold on. Where's the barracks? Are we watching the same game? Did he delete the barracks? What was that about? He deleted the barracks? There was a spearman in queue. What is Snooper doing? I've got no idea. Was he... There is the possibility that he's trying to give himself a little bit of a disadvantage by doing that, because he's up against somebody that he's almost not... I mean, after what we saw over here, maybe he's correct. But villagers moving in now for Villetverk. Snooper going to be trying to drop down an outpost. Let's take a look and see if Mr. Blind Boy spots it. Of course, Mr. Blind Boy, ringing true to his name, going to be doing a bit of long distance food gathering here at this point. Now, I will reiterate, Mr. Blind Boy is Plat 2. Now, I don't know whether he's gotten there off 5 games and he beat only bronze people to get there, or whether Mr. Blind Boy is doing something a bit differently. But that landmark coming down, it's the Minework Palace, gets immediately cancelled because an outpost is there, and you know what that means. That means we gotta run. And now that Minework Palace going to be coming down safely in the back of the base with just 8 villagers all being inspired by a prelate. Villagers continuing to move around towards the south. He obviously spots out that Minework Palace. Now remember, the rules are very simple. He can only make villages, and he can only make outposts. I'm not sure what the other rules are, but it seemed like he was making a barrack. I think there might have been... He may have forgotten that he was playing on the Villetverk account. But you can see the villagers going to be getting out nice and dirty, getting their stabbies out. These guys are already carrying extra wood on them. This one's got 14 in particular. But now Snooper going to be looking to micro it out, focusing down the first of the villager. I do have health bars turned on to always on, but for whatever reason, it just decides not to show them. I have have no idea why the game does this. It's so hard to see these health bars. You can see it's got the opacity set to like 3% on that health bar. But now a second outpost going to be coming down here on the backside for Snooper. Up towards his base. It looks like the age up's still yet to come through for him, but he is thinking about it. I suspect he's probably going to be moving out to Stone shortly as well. That outpost gets cancelled. He draws the villagers away from the mine work and goes for a little bit more of a safe outpost just outside the line of sight of his enemy. All of the villagers going to be getting out their torches, and once again, Snooper drawing away the enemy. Now, a lot of people might be looking at this and say Snooper's wasting time. Yeah, he's wasting time, and he's wasting his enemy's time as well, because his enemy's got more villagers out here than him. Snooper not paying attention. Snooper not paying attention. Snooper not paying attention. Okay, he's pulled those villagers back. It looks like the age up in queue as well going to be coming through for him. It's going to be an economic wing. No real surprises there. It's going to reduce the cost of his villagers down. It means he can make more villagers. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 town centers coming out of him. And now just to talk a little bit about villagers and why they're so strong, because I talked about it a bit earlier. Obviously, they've got that 75 health that you can get from the improved, the textiles. But one of the big things is you're only paying 25 food for each of your villagers. So let's look at, as an example, at a spearman, right? A spearman pays, you're paying 60 food and 20 wood for, so 80 resources. A villager, you're paying 25 resources for. Do you know what the siege is on both of those units? It's exactly the same. It is exactly the same. You're paying less than a third for a villager that does the exact same amount of siege as a spearman. And the spearman is the cheapest unit that you can get. So obviously, if you extrapolate that to men-at-arms, or if you extrapolate that to lancers, then it's just going to be an even wider gap. So there is the potential for this strategy to be quite strong. And we can see Snooper almost falling a little bit of a consequence to his early aggression. So obviously he was very, very bold with his initial outpost placements. We see the age up coming through for Mr. Blind Boy now, and Snooper just really struggling here, just wasting the time of his enemy, wasting the APM of his enemy. And behind this, it looks like we do have a second town center that's going to be coming through. Wheelbarrow now being researched, going to be improving the speed of his villagers, and emplacement's going to be coming through. Arrow Slit's going to be the name of the game here. And we see a stable coming up for his opponent. Mr. Blind Boy is now looking to put up that stable, and it looks like this outpost will get up. There's obviously arrow slits that's coming through. We can see Mr. Blind Boy now bringing out the daggers once again. In fact, are those daggers? What are those? Looks like they got clubs out. Are they? I thought they had daggers when they... Oh, those are torches. Oh, they went on fire, so I thought it was different. You see, these ones I can recognize. Looks like they're going to be committing to the villagers on the backside. The villagers do make it inside the outpost, and now that outpost is going to be able to get up with its arrow slits on. And we can see just how much trouble Villet Verk is having over on this position. But now back towards Snooper's base. He's going to be thinking about that second town center. We'll take a look as it gets dropped down inside the base. So second town center now coming up for Snooper. He's going to be attempting to try and knock out his enemy once again. You can see him rounding the corner, thinking about dropping down another outpost, but doesn't have the resources for it, nor does he really have the population space. Ideally, you'd love to see him get a house down right now, but the town center will provide him that extra little bit of population space that he's got. Arrow slits now coming through for Villet Verk as well. We'll take a look as he continues moving around, and you can see he's trying to encapsulate his enemy in outposts. Obviously, it becomes difficult. If you've only got, villagers that you can win with, then you really need to start thinking outside the box with how you play. More villagers moving up towards the east side. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit dangerous right now, Mr. Blind Boy. Let's see how he goes. I want to see how many villagers do we lose here. Oh, he's right-clicking the boar. Oh, this ain't going to be pretty. So for anybody who doesn't know, when you right-click the boar, you set your attack animation on cooldown, and you also are hitting it with a ranged attack. Prelate runs in. Prelate immediately gets tanked up with some damage there. Prelate now going to be looking to heal up. He manages to get a nice little surround on there. Villager going to be falling back. He's done a good job to heal that one and pull it back. Second villager might go down here if he's not careful. Indeed, the second villager going to be going down, but the boar going to be going down before it does. And now we turn our attention back towards the base of Snooper as we see that the horseman raid is unsuccessful. Under attack still towards this south side, and more villagers just chilling out, having a good little time. But a nice little job there by Mr. Blind Boy. He does better this time than what he did the first time. First time, obviously, multiple villagers as well as the scout were lost. But now looping around the top of the base here for his opponent, Mr. Blind Boy. Snooper adding in plenty more of those houses. We can see he's got lots of stone in the bank here, so could be even thinking about a third town center, maybe a fourth town center outpost coming up behind this. Now, there's arrow slits that are coming through, but just remember, in this position, Snooper's going to be able to evacuate this outpost when you start thinking about, 50, 60% health that's been taken off this, and he'll start repairing. So the health on this outpost, ideally, it is this is not something that you're going to be able to successfully challenge, but you can see he's actually able to focus down the villagers behind this. We'll watch and see how he plays it. Arrow Slit's going to be coming in now, going to be able to provide a little bit more damage here, as well as a little bit more oomph in those attacks. Third town center coming down for Snooper. Looks like it might get cancelled. Snooper's going to jump out of here and look to repair up this building. Indeed, he does look to jump out, but immediately gets surrounded by the cavalry, and now they turn their attention towards those villagers. He doesn't look like he's going to be fortifying this outpost, so very on the ball here. Let's just put it that way. Mr. Blind Boy, he's recovered a couple of his eyes, and he has worked his way in, stopped this attack completely in its tracks, and now Snooper left down here with just 2 outposts remaining. That is going to be it for him. Up towards the north, Snooper does spot out this boar being taken. I like the Holy Roman Empire boar play, but now up towards the north, the third town center comes up. It looks like a villager did go down there for Snooper, but that ain't too much of a problem for him. He doesn't mind it. Fortifications coming through on both of these outposts. He knows that there's the potential for his enemy to challenge these, and lots of prelates coming out for Mr. Blind Boy as well. He's got that first prelate out on this hunt, second prelate out over on this position, and we see an outpost now coming down, looking to deny this boar. Now remember, the boar, it gets taken very quickly with the Holy Roman Empire. Not only do they have their prelate, which is inspiring all the 8 villagers here, but they also have the option to go for these technologies that really buff up their gathering rate. But now, under attack, these villagers here. He's actually moving the prelate up. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to heal it in time. It doesn't look like it. The prelate with a little bit of a poor healing rate. Let's just put it that way. Nice little bit of a raid coming through as well. Snooper trying to drop down that outpost and give himself a bit more line of sight towards the front of his base. Villager count starting to climb for him is up to 41 villagers here. His enemy still on 2 landmarks. No castle age in sight at this point in time. And now we're here towards the base, towards the north. I'm not sure exactly where we hear it, but there are wolves on this map somewhere. Looming, hunting, fighting, trying to get their piece of the action as well. Mill out here in the middle of the map. Outpost still standing strong. You can see that these outposts have been fortified because they've got that circle now instead of the square. Typically, the Abbasid outposts are those squares, but once they get the circle, that's when they're fortified. It's a little bit weird because you look at this and you think, that should be fortified. That ain't fortified. That ain't fortified at all, mate. But we'll take a look over at Snooper's base and see how he's doing. There's plenty of wood being stacked up for him. He's going to be looking to drop down a potential 4th town center as well. Now, for him, I guess the other thing to note is I really feel like he doesn't get a lot out of his Castle Age or his Imperial Age as well. It's more about that timing push. I think it's all about the timing. Finding that window to hit with the villagers and look to strike down all of those landmarks. I guess the other option that he's got is definitely going to be keeps. Keeps are always going to be a pretty decent option for him. Looking to drop down an outpost now. We can see he's under attack at multiple different angles, really trying to stick to this whole theme of, you know, I will only make town centers and villages and outposts. I think he can make castles though, so with making keeps, obviously that's going to give him a pretty big pull factor towards that castle age. But now that 4th town center is going to be coming up for Snooper. It is the complete villager only strategy. Will it work? That is the question. As I mentioned before, he's 11-0 on this account at the moment, so he knows what he's doing with this strategy. He's a man who's got experience. But moving out towards the center, Mr. Blind Boy is into the fog of war, acting or playing true to his name, ringing true to his name, moving out with 14 villagers now, looking to drop down this mining camp and get on this gold vein in the center of the map. We start to see walls coming up for Snooper. He's cognizant of the raids that keep coming through. He knows he needs to deal with them, but he's only got villagers to do it, so that's going to make it very hard. The outposts continue coming up for him. He's trying his best to hold on until he hits that critical number of villagers. You guys know exactly what number it is. It's 200 villagers. I wonder if he's going to go for 200 villagers. Now, for anybody who thinks that Snooper is the pioneer of this strategy, I will just remind you, the Muslim did actually do this strategy on Kill and Dale in a matchup. I think he was doing it against like a diamond player as well, and he quite literally went like 8 town centers into 200 villagers and just sieged the enemy down. It was hilarious. But you know, the challenge though, that's where the line is drawn, because now it's getting serious. If there's a challenge, that is when things start to get serious, because now you're fighting for honor. Now you're not just fighting for ELO, you're not just fighting for those rank stats, you're fighting for honor. Will he be the first player to conqueror with the villager only strategy? That is the question. And I guess my question over to you guys as well, what other stupid challenges would you like to see? Obviously, I'm doing Chukunu only. Snooper doing villager only. If you've watched any of Beastie Cutie's content from StarCraft 2, he does stupid stuff like sentries only. What other unit would you like to see only being made here and potentially won with? Because look, I suspect when you've got the skill of somebody like Snooper or Beastie Cutie, there's a lot of things that you could only make, quote unquote, and still be very, very successful with. You know, we could potentially see bombards only. It'd be a little bit crazy. Imagine trying to get up to Imperial with no units. Jeez, good luck with that one. 5th town center now coming down for Snooper. He's got 2 in his base. He's got 3 out towards this expansion, and the horsemen going to have to run back towards their base. Mr. Blind Boy now going up towards that castle age. It's going to be the Burgrave Palace coming out. No Regnitz Cathedral for him today. There's plenty of relics on his side. He's got 1 safe relic, a 2nd safe relic over here as well. The rest of these relics are somewhat contested though, and obviously this one behind enemy lines not going to be on the playing cards today. We'll check in with him and see how the line of sight's looking as he's moving villages out across the map. I'm curious what he's going for. It could be a bit of a wall, the way those villages are moving. Otherwise, it might be a little bit of an outpost, potentially. Indeed, it's going to be a mill. He's looking to take his enemy's hunt. And I like this play. This makes sense from Mr. Blind Boy. You know, we've seen him multiple times throughout this game look to try and take the natural resources out on the map, and he's going to be able to do it here once again. Now turning his attention towards that palisade wall. We'll check in with Snooper and see how he's doing. He's got plenty of gold in the bank. He's now looking to really build up that village account. He's up to how many villages? 75 villages, 0 military. Obviously, it is a no military challenge. It is villages only. But with the exception being outposts, you can see he's using them to quite effect here. Villagers are going to be jumping in to repair up that wall. There's only 3 of them, and unfortunately that wall is going to be able to go down. He's not going to be able to get the re-wall off because the units are through, and now going to be able to surround and encompass. We see another town center coming down. It looks like it gets cancelled away from that mill. He wants to make sure the line of sight's not there for his opponent. And now we continue to see that there's another town center coming up for his opponent, Mr. Blind Boy, looking to keep up with the Kardashians, it seems, as more horsemen now make their way through enemy lines. We hear a wolf down towards the south. Just how long has that wolf been attacking there? Oh my god. Please don't tell me you've just had a wolf attacking you for the last 33 minutes and it's just... Is he really playing with just that wolf sound going off every 30 seconds in his ear? Can you imagine that right now? We're sitting here with Mr. Blind Boy. He might actually be Mr. Deaf Boy as well. Let's jump in on the camera right now and see if he spots it out. You can see it attacking. Oh, he spots it. Oh, he spots it. Oh, I think he commanded to kill it. I think he commanded to kill it just then. It's dead. It's dead. The wolf has been murdered. The wolf has been killed. A couple of sheep find their way as well. But now Mr. Blind Boy going to be turning his attention towards his enemy's base. You can see he's really yet to make a poke or prod towards it. We'll check in with Snooper and see how he's doing. Still no castle age just yet for him. Village account up to 87. Almost in that triple figure, or that triple digit number. But more outposts continuing to come up for Snooper. He's definitely at home with regard to these outposts. So you can see why he would be a big fan of tower rushing, though. But now more outposts in the center of the map. Bit of a raid coming through up towards the north. We see the Golden Age Tier 2 has been activated. He's going to be jumping inside, and it looks like he's going to be going Culture Wing here. So with that, medical centers is going to be able to provide him that extra health, tickling in every second or trickling in every second, depending on how you wish to pronounce it. But nice little job of continuing to... I mean, he's just playing very defensive here. And I think it largely comes down to his opponent not knowing how to play against this because... I mean, there's a number of ways that you could go against this, but I definitely feel like going your fast castle into Regnitz, and then, I mean, you could just play a very standard, almost fast Imperial into Bombards, Men-at-Arms with heavy maces, all that good stuff. I guess you could realistically look to play H2, but I guess as the Holy Roman Empire, there's kind of like that nice little window there as well, in that the Holy Roman Empire want to give themselves time to get up to that Imperial Age. We'll take a look at how he's doing it, though, as another town center gets dropped down in the middle. How many town centers have we got right now, Snooper? There's 3 there. There's another 3 here, and then there's 2 more in the main base. So he's up to 8 town centers right now. He's got 40 idle villagers just chilling out. He's up to 107 villagers, so the triple digits has been reached. And you know he's thinking about it. You know he wants to do it. He's got 1,600 stone in the bank right now. So he's going to be thinking about dropping that castle, and you can see him moving forward. There's not a lot of time left on that age up coming through now, and he's going to be going very aggressive with it. I'd be curious to see if there's mangonels out from his opponent just yet. Actually, those villagers just going to be looking to... No, those are definitely keep dropping vills. That is definitely going to be the case. At least they might be heading down towards this mill. This might be the food source that he's looking after. Is he also doing the no farm challenge? Is that what we're seeing out of Snooper? No farms? Oh, no, never mind. There are farms coming down. Farms do come down. Walls broken through. Mr. Blind Boy going up against the heavy number of vills from his opponent. Will it work? That is the question. And the answer seems to be yes, because those villagers continue marching through. They've got their textile upgrade, and the keep gets dropped down directly on the enemy town center. When it comes to landmarks, the second landmark placed down underneath the third landmark placed over towards this position. So landmark victory going to be the way that you win in this matchup, I suspect. And now we've got ourselves a little bit of a base race potentially. Mr. Blind Boy may be blind to the fact that his enemy has now all of a sudden got a huge amount of villagers in his base, and he's looking to siege down that town center. And we can see they're now turning their torches towards it, and you can see 10 torch damage. Compare that over towards these horsemen. Interestingly, do the horsemen get bonus siege damage every age they're in? Yeah, they do too. Look at that. Wait, why do these guys get 18 torch damage? Hold on, I thought there was consistency on this. I must have been wrong. I didn't realize the villagers only get 10 torch damage. Hold on. Surely not. Really? I thought everything was the same. I guess not. We're Age of Empires 3 now, it seems. Battering ram doing its work, making its way through, but obviously that House of Wisdom, it's got plenty of health on it. It's going to take some time for that to go down, sieging up all these units. I suspect we might have a villager pull any second now. If Snooper wants to win this game, the best way to do that is just going to be able to pull the villagers, but we've got emergency repairs coming off. Snooper going for the Vill-only challenge. He's located the third landmark as well. Emergency repair trying to heal through all of the villagers. You can see the siege really coming out now. Snooper turning his attention towards our town center. A bit of an attack on the north side. He's going to be focusing down that battering ram, and indeed that battering ram does go down, and with that the push will stall out. In spring-on emplacements, looking to try and defend against these units on the backside. We can see that they're coming through right now in a very strong number. What's the difference? What's the visual difference here with the spring-on emplacement? I don't know. Is it these windows? Is that how I'm telling the difference between them? I'm not too sure, but now he's actually taken down the first landmark, and you can see these villagers here. He's got 42 villagers. Snooper really going for a villager-only challenge, and we see a siege workshop coming in over on the right side of the base. The minework palace is down towards this position. Look how fast he's burning through this. We are quite literally seeing villager-only, and he's not even pulling a village like all of his villagers. This is just a handful of villagers, 40 villagers right now. He's yet to really rally in any reinforcements. He's got villagers in the middle. He's got villagers absolutely everywhere, but he holds on back at the base, and now he turns his attention towards that landmark. We see emergency repairs coming through. It's going to be trying to heal it up. The boiling oil coming out and burning down the farms. And now that Burgrave Palace is probably going to be going down. Snooper trying his best to work this out. We can see a couple of heavy mace men-at-arms underneath here. If a mangonel comes out, it could be the end of it. And indeed, there is a mangonel in queue now for Mr. Blind Boy. So definitely not blind to the consequences of the mangonel's strength, but still working through these villagers. There's 28 of them left. It looks like emergency repairs not going to be able to come back up in time. Another 20 seconds. Villagers do get pulled, trying their best to repair it up, but I suspect it's not going to be the case. We see spring-on emplacements coming through here for Snooper as well. He's looking really good, and now pulling all of the villagers. Every villager to the front line, and you can see that there's still men-at-arms racing through the base of Snooper, but he's managed to hold on here. He knows that all he needs to do is put spring-on emplacement on those outposts, and he's going to be fine. That Burgrave Palace looks like it's actually going to be able to stand here. The villagers have managed to repair it up. Mr. Blind Boy, he's down to 156. This ain't good. This ain't good. Insufficient wood, insufficient wood, insufficient wood. Oh my lord, it's going to happen any second. He's still managing to get it up to about 2k health, so it's not terrible, but indeed, insufficient wood comes out, and now Snooper turns his attention towards the next landmark. Indeed, it is the Minework Palace. But remember, wait, where is the mangonel? Where's the mangonel for Mr. Blind Boy? There was a mangonel out. Now Snooper looking to siege down absolutely everything. We head into the cinematic mode once again as the villagers do indeed fall back towards the keep. They know how important it is to stay alive, turning their attention now towards the Burgrave Palace. That Burgrave Palace looks like it's almost certainly going to be long for this world. Back towards the base of Snooper. You can see Mr. Blind Boy is burning down town centers, but remember, town centers mean nothing when you don't have landmarks. And now Snooper looking to try and finish this game off. All the villagers running in. This is the villager-only strategy. The question is, will it work? And the answer looks to be yes, it will. Fellas, if you have enjoyed this game, make sure you check out Snooper. I'm going to leave a link in the description to all of his content. You can catch him on YouTube, you can catch him on Twitch, and most importantly, you can catch him anytime because he's handsome, he's Australian, and he is absolutely what we need in this world.